What is up? What is up, YouTube? Hey, before we get started, I'm supposed to be playing the bass guitar, man. One of my New Year's resolutions is to play more instruments. Yeah, Uncle Mike got a whole lot of New Year's resolution. But check this out, man. You know I gotta do it, baby. I gotta do it. Where you at, Zicky? Zicky here, y'all. Hey.
I can't believe Diddy locked in a cell, tunnels under his house and he can't make bail. Neighbors scared stiff, won't retrieve they ball. If it bounce over Diddy gate, they don't call. Ain't no doorbell ringing, ain't no fence climbing. They say the devil dance quiet when the stars are lining. Talk in the street about basements with screams, where the silence too loud and the truth still bleed. Lawyer walks off, said the case too thick. Even his mama on IV drip, sick, trying to detox demon while praying on lies. But you can't cleanse blood when it drips from the sky.
Lawyers will argue today that Sean Combs deserves some special
Diddy, you stink a little bit. You know that? Say something.
As quickly as possible.
Hey.
The case against Sean Combs returns to court following the split verdict.
I can't believe I saw the twins in the pews, eyes wide shut, trying to dodge daddy's snooze. Courtroom silence when they walking slow. I felt the shame hit the floor like a soul on the go. They say he comfy now, sheets folded neat. Other inmates doing favors just to eat. He's still moving like a mobile with a plan, but God don't blink, the karma hits like a fan. Cases dropping daily, names ain't redacted. One brave soul said, nah, I ain't asking. I'm not anonymous, I'm proud with the pen. Said you're gonna remember this truth again and again.
We are just getting started. We're going to win, and we're not going to stop until he walks out of prison, a free man to his family. The defense argues there are exceptional circumstances.
I can't believe Diddy was found not guilty, but the vibe in the room still felt filthy. Face to face, I ain't flinch or shake. I told him what you did to that girl was a damn disgrace. I can't believe Diddy was found not guilty, but the vibe in the room still felt filthy. Face to face, I ain't flinch or shake. I told him what you did to that girl was a damn disgrace. I can't believe.
All right, Diddy. All right, Ziggy, you need to go upstairs. You need to go home. Get out of here. He two-faced it, man. Another one of my New Year's resolutions is to stop eating on the videos, man. I'm not gonna eat anymore on the videos. And the only reason why, because that rolls into my other New Year resolution. I'm on a diet. I gotta stop eating so much, man. And it's funny because I'm hungry now. As soon as I start, I'm hungry. You know. But anyway, check this out, man. This is did Diddy really kill Tupac? Let's find out. There's some people talking, man. It's a lot of talk, but there ain't no hardcore evidence. I mean, it's not like criminals leave evidence on purpose. You feel me? So I think the court should take that in consideration, man, and do a lie detector test on a lot of people and find out who knows what. Like, you know what? The lie detector test says that we should talk to you a little deeper. That's what a lie detector test is supposed to be doing. Hey, y'all hit that subscribe button, hit that bell. Hey, let's check this bad boy.
All right, guys. So I, like many other Americans, and probably some people overseas as well, just watched the Netflix Diddy documentary, which was backed by 50 Cent. And after I watched it, I said, there's one person I need to speak with about that. And that is my great friend and the legendary journalist, Toure, who is doing all kinds of interesting things right now, including talking to Nomiki Konst about her breakup with Bill de Blasio. But in addition, has a YouTube channel called Rap Latte that you guys should definitely check out. So great to see you, my friend.
Nice to see you.
Yeah. So before we jump in, guys, spoilers. Not that, I mean, is it spoilers when we kind of know some of these things? But anyway, if you're waiting to be surprised about how this documentary unfolds, watch it and come back to this.
It's a documentary about history that has been discussed. It's interesting because a lot of this history for Gen Xers and older millennials who are into hip hop, this is old history that we have been discussing and arguing about for a very long time. I think for younger millennials and for Zoomers, this may be their first time discussing some of these issues, especially when you go back to, I believe it was the 1993, 94, it was 92, maybe, shooting at Quad Studios, 93. They had not really discussed this. I know for some of them, they had never heard of the CCNY tragedy. So some of this...
So Toure, I actually did not know about the CCNY tragedy.
Wow.
So, I'm sort of engaging on this as not like super like in the weeds with all of it, just like existing in America throughout this time period. But there were some sort of foundational pieces here that even I didn't actually know about, and that they use. So maybe talk a little bit about the CCNY piece, because that becomes a kind of bedrock part of how they build out the story of Diddy just being an absolute psychopath in every way.
Let's start with this baseline that Puffy has been a horrible person for a long time. And I believe a lot of the SA and violence charges that are levied against him. He has been known to all of us as a sex addict for a long time, somebody who does not really care about other people and will roll over other people to get whatever he wants. Typical of what it takes to become a leader in this capitalist society. Has been an egomaniac, has been... I did a video on YouTube. I know why Diddy is broken. And I think there's something broken inside of him that goes back to way back. And actually, let me tell you a story from his childhood that I think sort of sums up some of who he is. He had a paper route as a kid. A lot of us in Gen X had paper routes. The most entrepreneurial kid in the neighborhood had a paper route where he or she would get on their bike before school and throw newspapers into 20 or 30 or 40 people's homes, right? And sometimes maybe your mom would drive you around and help you do that. But it's always like, the most go-getter kid in the neighborhood would have a paper route, right? So, of course, young Puff had a paper route. But what happened is that he purchased other kids' paper routes. Now, that is not super unusual, but then he would have them delivering papers for him. So, and taking some of their money. And you might say, oh, well, that's being clever. Okay, but at 12 or 13, he's thinking like a capitalist and manipulating the labor of other kids to enrich himself. And most 12 or 13-year-olds are not thinking like that.
Yeah, it's an instinct for exploitation is what that is.
Exactly. So, you're already starting with that. So by the time you get to CCNY, I believe he was about 20, 21, 22, somewhere in there. He had left Howard University. He was known in New York City as one of the big promoters. When I got to New York City, he was already known as like one of the big promoters, nightlife promoters. And so the CCNY thing, at CCNY, he planned and executed a celebrity pro-am basketball game, which was kind of an excuse to put on a mini concert inside CCNY. Where
CCNY, for people who don't know, it's City College of New York, which is up at what, like 140th Street, something like that.
Yeah, something like that, which is a college that a lot of working class folks would go to because it's much more affordable than a lot of other places. And he planned this celebrity basketball game. So all the hip hop artists who were hot of the moment, who were New Yorkers, who he could just get on the phone, were going to come. So I think there was 6 or 8. Heavy D was one of them, I remember. And it was super popular at that time. And they had a capacity of like, let's say 2,500, and they sold like 5,000 tickets. So there's clearly like a hustlership, an exploitation. We're just gonna fake it till we make it, and like just we'll figure it out on the back end.
The rules don't apply. We'll figure it out. You know
what I mean?
Yeah.
And you can Google the specifics, but there was a problem. There was a stampede because there were too many people inside and outside the space trying to get in, and you had a situation where a lot of people were trying to get out rapidly, and people got squished against doors, fire doors that would not open. People got trampled, and about 9 people who were, most of them teenagers. I think the oldest was like 27, 28, but most of them teenagers. About 9 people died, which is very tragic. Puff was sued. A lot of people thought, this will be the end of your professional life. He somehow survives that, which starts this whole thing of like, he keeps surviving these crazy moments where that would ruin a lot of other people's careers.
Well, and the way that Doc frames it actually isn't just that he survived, but that this is part of what made him famous.
Right.
That this tragedy that would have ended the career of anyone else is part of what helps to launch him in the public consciousness.
Yes, because negativity sells. You talking good about somebody, they just say, oh, that's good. But if you talking negative, Diddy did a show and 9 people died at his show. What? How? What happened? Give me the 411. Give me the info. I hate to say it, man, but I figured all this out, man. And I talk about all this in my YouTube course. Link below in the description. Here we go.
I mean, perhaps.
Teaching people how to do YouTube. Teaching people how to do YouTube. Here we go.
Would have ended the career of anyone else is part of what helps to launch him in the public consciousness.
I mean, perhaps. He got a lot of name recognition out of that. People who had not heard of Puff Daddy before that heard of him. But, just setting the record straight, often in this climate right now after the trial in the dock, sounds like you're defending him. In no way, shape, or form am I defending him. And one of my TikTok videos insinuates that he may have killed his wife, Kim Porter, the mother of 3 of his children. So I am never defending Puff. But, the tragedy got some people knowing who he was. But then after that, while he was there, he was already an A&R man at Uptown Records. And he launches the career of Mary J. Blige. And he launches the career of Jodeci. And they were massive stars right away. And there's some significant creative innovations that happened with the rise of Jodeci, and especially with Mary, as far as the merging of hip-hop and R&B that had not happened before. So this was actually the first time that people were like, okay, the artists are dope, but who's the A&R guy? Who is styling them? Who is really uniquely creating the artists that are like these major cultural figures that are changing the game? So, to me, to a lot of us, it's the rise of Jodeci and Mary J. Blige that make it like, wait, who's that guy? And out of the success of those two, and creating Biggie while he was at Uptown, and he gets fired from Uptown because of an interpersonal clash with the leader of Uptown. Then he's able to go to Clive Davis and get money to start his own label, which was Bad Boy.
So I want to jump into the part that people will be sort of most, I think, fascinated by, which is the documentary's evidence, mostly circumstantial, but evidence that Diddy is directly responsible for the murder of Tupac and sort of low-key responsible for the murder of Biggie as well. And they spent a lot of time building up this is an absolute psychopath. He will do literally anything. He cares about power and control, whether it's, okay, now that I know that's your girlfriend, I'm going to steal her, whether it's, I'm going to call you into my office on a whim just so you can see me getting my sucked during office hours when I don't even want you, need anything from you. I'm going to convince you that you have to give me all of your shares in this business that we co-founded. Everything is sort of building up to this guy's a total psychopath who's just in it for himself and will do literally anything. And then before I get your analysis, just take people through what is the evidence that is offered that Diddy is directly responsible for the murder of Tupac.
So the Tupac story is a lot. So we really got to go back to, in Atlanta, there's a club conversation, fight, conflagration between him and Suge. And it ends up that one of Suge Knight's friends in his crew gets killed. Suge Knight is the leader, of course, of Death Row Records, which is really the beefing with Bad Boy during this time. After that, it's reasonable to expect that Puff was very afraid that they would try to come back and do something to him or somebody around him. So the notion that he thought that maybe we should do something is there. We got to remember, Puffy is not a street guy. Suge Knight is absolutely a real street guy. He comes from the LA gang scene.
He said, absolutely a street guy. Diddy was in the what you call it? In the suburbs, which means Diddy grew up in a lower class medium. They got cars, they got a house. The projects in it, they living on welfare. The government is paying for the projects. The government did this thing called it's a project. We're gonna see if we can help these people by giving them housing and stuff like that. The projects. That's what the word projects came from. And a lot of they had drugs and all this. Don't nobody want to be down there because there's so much negativity, crime and everything. Man, we could have cleaned this mess up a long time ago, man. The world, the United States, the world does not want to get rid of crime. Trust me when I tell you this. Crime helps the economy, helps money be exchanged. You buy locks and keys, a locksmith. You feel me? Security, cameras. Everybody got doorbell cameras and stuff like that. You buy all this to feel like you secured, to feel that you're safe. The government learned this a long time ago to make people spend money. The government is all about making you spend money. How can we make people spend more money? Keep them broke. Oh my God, man. My YouTube course goes over all this. Deep, man.
Puffy is not a street guy. Suge Knight
Puffy
is
ain't no
absolutely
street guy.
a real street guy. He comes from the LA gang scene. Puff is a suburban guy who becomes more gangster as he's in the music business, but that's not really where he's from. And especially at this point in the early to mid 90s, there are real street people in the industry. There's a conversation in the documentary and in the world of hip hop that Puff hired somebody to get Tupac. Okay. In the doc, they say that there was a moment where there was 40 gangsters in a room, and Puff says to the entire room, $1 million if you can get and eliminate Suge and Pac. I find it very difficult to believe that you've basically stood on a stage in front of 40 people and said, hey, I got $1 million bounty. I mean, I also think as a leader, you wouldn't do it that way. You would say it to one person. You wouldn't say it to a whole room full of people. Like you're like, hey guys,
let's get the Zoom call together. Everybody here's your invites.
You know what I mean? I feel
But on the other hand, I mean, they have in the documentary. I mean, listen, I found it compelling, but I also don't know anything, right?
Well,
but they have in the doc, they have all this testimony from a proffer session from what's the guy's name? Keefy D,
who's been saying for years that Puff was supposed to pay him for getting Pac and or Suge. Keefy D did not get paid. That money supposedly was stolen by a gangster who was down with Puff.
Oh my God. Yeah, think about it. Okay, you got a job to do, right? And you do half the job. So since you did half the job, right, on any situation, you did half the job, you should get half the money. You ain't complete the job. So there's a possibility where it all depends on what the job is. That's that gray area, man. If you eliminate this gray area in your life, this is the job. You're supposed to clean the windows in my house. You clean half the windows, or each window you come to, you clean only half. And I'm supposed to pay you half? You ain't finished the job. You didn't hold up your end of the bargain. I need to go get somebody else. I can't depend on you. Come on, man. I don't understand.
for getting Pac and or Suge. Keefe D did not get paid. That money supposedly was stolen by a gangster who was down with Puff. So he says that he did the thing and was supposed to get paid, but didn't get paid. But let's go back a second.
Yeah.
Orlando Anderson is a Crip who happened to be at the Tyson fight. He had stolen a death row person, employee's chain, death row chain earlier. So when they're at the Tyson fight, somebody says to Tupac, there's the guy who stole that guy's death row chain. And Pac and others go beat him up. And then later that night, Orlando Anderson, we know this, went back and shot Pac. Orlando Anderson is Keefe D's nephew. Now, I am being asked to believe that Pac initiated a fight, which I believe, against the one person who was hired to kill Tupac. So he picked the one wrong person who was already looking for their opportunity. And when they beat up Orlando Anderson, Keefe D and others were like, oh, here's our perfect opportunity to go get Pac, and everybody will think that it's retaliation for that. We've already been looking for our opportunity. To me, Occam's razor is you saw a Crip, you beat up a Crip, and he came back and shot you. That is extraordinarily believable and extraordinarily reasonable. If you beat up a Crip, he will take a gun and try to shoot you, right? So or blood, whatever.
What do you know about how Diddy at this time was thinking about Pac? Like what level of threat he perceived? You know, what do you think his headspace at this time would have been?
I think from talking to people who was around him and who know him that he was definitely very scared. That there was definitely a fear that these death row guys, we don't know what they're going to do. You know, they could come back us with any level of violence. So there was definitely a genuine fear and a state of like, we need to be, on edge. We need to be on point because these guys might come back at us in any number of ways. Does that mean that he did this? Is it possible? Maybe, but I just don't think that that's where he was. Did he, this person, believable. Did he roofie and drug and thus incapacitate so he could and essay many people? Totally believe that. But did he order Pac's murder? I just don't buy it. Is it possible? Maybe, but I just
So it's not that you don't think that, like, oh, that would be too far from him and morally he wouldn't. You just don't feel like the story is logical to you.
Morally, sure, it's possible. Sure. From knowing what I know from talking to people, Puff's not a street guy. So the notion that he at that point in his life turned to, we're going to kill this guy, Pac. I mean, I also feel like he would have seen that Suge was the real enemy. Suge would be the one who would say, you go shoot Puff. So you'd be trying to shoot Suge.
Well, but allegedly he was, right? Allegedly he was trying to get both Suge and Pac, right? Yeah,
which is, I mean, like, how did you not? You were right there.
I did want to know, what did you think of the portrayal of Suge? Because the doc kind of portrays him as like, yeah, from the street, rough guy, but he took care of his artist. And Diddy is like, just pure exploitation. And so that's why a bunch of his artists were leaving, etc.
I mean, correct about Puff as far as exploitation and such. Yeah. Suge is also a horrible person, from the street, not necessarily as far as we know, the sex addict and people, but like violence, like no problem. Like, this is a much.
You know what the problem is? This is what the problem is right here, y'all. We don't know or we don't understand how a sex addict thinks. And I think that this is going to be in my YouTube course. I think, because this is in the Think and Grow Rich book, I think that people that are sex addicts, they concentrate all day long and all night on how to earn more money, because money gets you sex with the baddest women in the world, if that's what you want, or the baddest guys in the world, if that's what you want. You know what I'm saying? So if you got enough money, you can afford to have the most pleasurable thing that God gave us. Did y'all know that? This is in the Bible, y'all. Did y'all know that? Oh my God, y'all. Y'all need to come to my live streams. I'm gonna start promoting the live streams, even if you're not into building a YouTube course. My live streams, Uncle Mike gonna open wide. This is a new year, baby. This is part of my New Year's resolution. Anyway, let's get back to the video. But I'm trying to tell y'all, man, it says it in the Think and Grow Rich book. It says your sex drive. Wealthy people have very, very high sex drives. And I'm thinking, I'm one of them. I got a high sex drive. So I thought. That's what I thought. Until I met this Diddy. I said, damn, he having sex with animals. The fuck? Are they rumors or is that true? I don't care. If you got ain't no rumor out there that Uncle Mike having sex with a daggone animal. Get out of here, cuz. Anyway, let's move on. I'm getting too deep too fast.
Puff, as far as exploitation and such. Yeah. Suge is also a horrible person. From the street, not necessarily, as far as we know, the sex addict and people, but like violence, like no problem. Like this is a much longer story, but he basically kidnapped me at one point. A very frightening.
I'm sorry.
Story.
What?
I mean, if you want to it's a 20-minute story, so I can come back and tell you. But I mean, I went to interview him and I asked him a question he did not like, and there was about a half hour where I was not allowed to leave the office, no longer than half an hour, where I was not allowed to leave the office when I wanted to, and a solid period of time when there was a young blood standing beside Suge, and I thought at any moment he's going to say, okay, go beat him up, and then he would like destroy me. So, I mean, there was about maybe an hour that I was like trapped in his office and like wanting to leave in death row, and like I'm not able to leave because he's like, you're going to sit there, and he is a horrible person. He is known to have dangled people off of balconies and held a gun to people's head to get them to sign a contract that they should not have been signing. And he was kind of known for like barging into your office and stealing your pants, right? Like that happened several. I mean, the first time I wanted to interview him, I called somebody, an executive, and they were like, don't do it. Cause it just, you don't know what kind of can of worms it could open up. You don't, just like don't talk to the gangster. Just don't get his attention.
Just leave it alone.
He's a horrible person who is absolutely exploiting people, who's absolutely beating people up. So the doc definitely makes
soft pedals that.
Yes, makes Shook look a lot better than. I mean, the Pac story.
1 2 God dog it. You know what? That's a New Year's resolution. I'm gonna let y'all know right now. If I'm in the middle of doing a video, I'm not answering the phone no more. Nope. One phone call led to something else. I talked to somebody else. It's been 2.5 hours. 2.5 hours, man. I'm done, son. Anyway, let's get back to this video. I don't even know where we at. Y'all, hey, man. Let's back. Oops. Did we click? Letting y'all know. Here we go, man. Here we go.
Talk to the gangster. Just don't get his attention.
Just leave it alone.
He's a horrible person who is absolutely exploiting people, who's absolutely beating people up. So the doc definitely makes
soft
Suge,
pedals that.
yes,
Yeah.
makes Suge look a lot better than, I mean, the Pac story we could talk about. The Big story, did Puff kill Big or have something to do with it? I'm like, guys, now we're really in fantasy land. This was, I don't want to say his best friend, right? Because I don't think he really has best friends, but like, this was his number one artist by far. This was his number one rainmaker by far.
Well, but that's kind of, just to give the way the documentary portrays it, I mean, that's actually the motive that they use to portray, like, that's actually why he wanted him out of the way.
Come on,
because
now.
Big was the star.
Come on,
he was sucking up the oxygen. Diddy wanted to be that number one artist, and he was kind of in the way. And so, you know, whereas with Pac, it's like he got these gangsters in a room and was like, I want this guy dead. With Big, it was like, okay, we know it's very dangerous in LA. Big does not want to be there. I'm going to... let me just finish what the documentary said, then you can tell me what you know about the situation. So Big does not want to be there. Mm-hmm. They play interview of him talking about how sort of nervous and uncomfortable he is. Not only is he there, Diddy forces him to go, but then they extend it. Big was supposed to go to some, I don't know, interview in the UK or something like that. And they're like, no, cancel your flight. You're going to stay there. We're going to do this big party. And then that's when he ends up getting murdered. So it's not like the doc doesn't portray it like, oh, Diddy ordered this hit, but basically that he intentionally put his life knowingly at risk, sort of hoping that something like this might happen is the subtext of what the documentary lays out.
The notion that somebody could just tell Big what to do is laughable. Earlier in the career, Puff had been trying to get Big to stop dealing drugs, right, while they're making the first album. And I can't confirm if it was after the first album came out, but while they're making the first album, he's like, you don't need to do that anymore. And he's like, yeah, whatever, square, whatever, nerd. So, I mean, controlling him, as far as I know, because when that was happening, when Big was in LA, he was with partly my friend Cheo Coker, who's another legendary hip hop journalist. And Cheo was, I believe, was the last print journalist to interview him. And it's very clear that Big was very happy that trip in LA, he was not forced to go to LA. He wanted to go to LA. He chose to extend his stay in LA. Because he was having good time. The weed out there is much more potent than the weed in New York City. So, I mean, he was like, we're staying here. Like, this is cool. The notion that Puff wanted to have a party on enemy territory. The party where Big got killed was a vibe party, not a Puff party.
Okay.
Did he throw a party while they were out there? I'm trying to remember. I remember Nas telling me about, I think it was a Puff party, but it would have been in the hills, not at a club in the middle of the city. The other thing, you referenced the video, the interview of Big saying, I'm scared, right? Mm-hmm. With the red shirt where he's laying down. And then right after that, they show March 9th, here's what happened at the Peterson Auto Museum. So that interview where he's in the red shirt and he's laying down, he's talking to me. That's my interview from the first album. That interview at that point is 1.5 years, 2 years old. So he's talking about the street. He came into the game. He was actually a dealer and he was afraid that somebody on the street was going to shoot him. So we talked about that a lot. I had interviewed him before that for the New York Times, and we talked about that a lot. So then when we were doing this video interview, I cued him to talk about that again because I knew that he was very scared. So he's talking. So the documentary is very clever in the way that it places this clip from much earlier next to him getting killed. He's not talking. It makes you think he's talking about, I'm scared at this moment, and then Puff makes me go to LA, and then this shit happens. No. He was scared earlier of other people, not the game. His vibe during the battle was I'm not scared. I'm going to move around. These guys are talking their shit, but I'm not scared of these guys. So, I mean, there's a lot of sort of circumstantial thing of Puff pushed Big into a complicated situation in LA. He shouldn't have been there. Made him stay long. I dispute that entire characterization. I feel like Big chose to go to LA. He was enjoying himself. He wanted to stay longer. I don't put anything on Puff. Now, you could say maybe Puff should have been like, we got to get out of here. But I don't know that they really thought that somebody would do that. I mean, thought somebody might do that. I'm sure they wouldn't have been there. It was surely dangerous and contentious. And, I know people were talking shit about him on the radio. I know they went to the mall and people were talking shit. And it was it's drama out here. It's loud. There's a lot of noise. But I don't think they really thought somebody's going to roll up and shoot this guy. I really don't think I think if they thought that, they would have left for sure. But I don't think they really thought that. I just don't buy that story.
And then after he's murdered, and actually this moment culturally has been revisited in the wake of with Erica Kirk and doing her grief tour and thing, whatever. Diddy really capitalizes, I think this is fair to say, on the death of his recording artist Big and friend. And, that's when he really ascends to sort of solo superstardom. And he's wearing the white jacket and he's doing the, his whole thing, which again is culturally relevant again. And they also talk about how he was trying to screw over, Big's family in terms of secretly changing the contract provisions. There's also this anecdote, and you can speak to this because you've done some reporting on this, that prior to Big getting murdered, he was supposed to be on the cover of Rolling Stone, and Diddy freaks out and is absolutely not. That cover is going to be for me. So talk about some of those pieces, because that's the other side of it is because they're trying to make the case that he intentionally and was in a position to profit and ascend off the death of his friend.
He does profit and ascend from that moment for sure. I completely believe that he changed the contract and thus took millions away from Big's family. And I spoke to somebody who was inside Bad Boy who said that sounds very likely.
And you find just Kirk Burroughs, isn't that his name, who's the co-founder of Bad Boy, and he's very central to a lot of the storytelling here. You find him to be compelling and reliable narrative?
I know Kirk. I'm watching the doc, and many of the things he's saying, I'm like, yes, that's right. Yes, you are in a position to know that more than anybody else, especially something like a contract being changed. Kirk would be the one that you would go to is this true or not? There's definitely other things that we could talk about momentarily that Kirk said that I know to not be true. And I'm not going to use the L word. I know Kirk, he's telling it from his perspective. I know other things to be true. I have at least two sources that say, don't think that Big was forced to pay for his own funeral, from inside Bad Boy, that people are he would have tried it, and people inside up high would have been like, nah, dude, we cannot, we're not doing that. So I don't think that happened. Now, I'll give you a breaking points exclusive the first time I'm talking about this, because I just nailed this down 15 minutes ago. I've been trying to nail this down for 4 days, and finally, just 15 minutes ago, in the doc, it says Big was supposed to be on the cover of Rolling Stone to promote his second album, Life After Death. And then after his death, Puff called Rolling Stone and said, I'm taking that cover, right? You just referenced that. So when Kirk said that, I was like, okay, I was at Rolling Stone for many, many years, right? I'm part of the long-term Rolling Stone family. I'm like, that is not how anything goes. No outsider could ever call and say, hey, I'm taking the cover, right? I mean, maybe Bruce Springsteen, because he's super close friends with Jan Wenner, could call and be like, hey, I got an album come out. Can you make room for me on the cover? But not like I'm telling you. So I called my old friends to try to figure out what really happened. I nailed down, I spoke to, just this morning, the woman who was the photo director at that time, who she just got off email with the person who was the editor-in-chief at that time and talking about how did Puff come to be on the cover? Biggie was never supposed to be on the cover, period. Rolling Stone at that point in history, when Biggie was making Life After Death, would not have put a rapper on the cover. Jan Wenner at that moment did not think a rapper was big enough to be on the cover. So there is no truth to the idea that Puff took the cover from Big. In the wake of I'll Be Missing You becoming this gigantic monster single, the editor-in-chief of Rolling Stone said, we should try to get him on the cover. And because he had this monster single and was willing to take his shirt off for the photograph and was willing to wear Calvin Klein underwear because they were a big advertiser, because of all of that monster single, big in the news and this amazing photograph with your shirt off and all that, because of all that, they were able to convince Jan Wenner, okay, we'll put Puff on the cover. But this was not motivated by Puff, and this was not a rejection or an erasure of Big. So that is something that I can definitively say Kirk Burroughs is incorrect there, right? And the entire story he's telling there is completely incorrect. And I spoke to the two people who were closest to that decision just today.
No. Come on, man. Y'all can't see all this? Okay. Let's break it down. He may not have been correct, but he's still right. Puffy probably, and the way all this stuff is going down, this is what Puffy did. Biggie on it, I'm already making plans to off him. He gonna be gone. I need to be on there. Shoot. Fall asleep 5 or 10 nights. How can I get on that cover? They want Biggie. Because Biggie got the albums. He the one, he's the artist. He the top dog. But I've been dancing in the backgrounds. Yeah. I've been dancing in the backgrounds. He on my label. He the man. The world think he the man. But they know about me. I gotta spin the narrative, because that's all he does is spin the narrative. I gotta spin the narrative so to convince him, just like I convinced everybody else, I need to be on that cover. Because they don't know yet that Biggie gonna be no longer. Tupac is no longer. I couldn't believe how Tupac passed away. I was doing music in the music industry, y'all. I'm a little twisted. I'm celebrating my coming home safely for New Year's. Anyway, people were saying Tupac got shot. I'm like, so big deal. Because I wasn't a big Tupac fan. You know, people get shot every day. People. I didn't know Tupac was that man. I didn't know Tupac, of all rappers, period, in the music industry, Tupac is number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. And then you got Eminem, maybe Biggie, then other dead people, whatever the case may be. I didn't know that. Now I know. I know that Tupac, I don't care who you are, if you talk about rap and you don't put Tupac as number 1, dead or alive, then you don't know music. That's the way it is. That's just the way it is. So I said all that to say this. I can believe and I can see a dangerous man saying, I need to be on that cover. Not Biggie. I need to be there. So let me figure out the words I need to say out of my mouth to tell these people that I need to be on that magazine. And he did it. He did it. Because I'm the one that made this person, but this person is going to fall, and I am the next person coming up. You will have the first real interview. You will be the first to know that I'm going to be the biggest thing in the music world, period. I'm going to be bigger than Elvis one day. These are the words that Puffy probably told them, is what I'm saying. I don't know. I'm just making it up, and this is what I believe. So I think that big Puffy convinced these people that he needed to be on the front of that magazine. Guess what? He was on the front of the magazine, so it must have worked.
The cover. But this was not motivated by Puff, and this was not a rejection or an erasure of Big. So that is something that I can definitively say Kirk Burroughs is incorrect there, right? And the entire story he's telling there is completely incorrect. And I spoke to the two people who were closest to that decision just today.
I disagree.
At the very end, because Kirk is an important narrator throughout, which makes a lot of sense narratively because he knew Puff for so long. Like you said, he's in a position to know this. He's co-founding Bad Boy Records. He's seeing the ins and outs, getting pushed to the side, like witnessing all this behavior. And then at the end, he reveals, his own allegation that he was sexually assaulted by Diddy. Talk a little bit about.
I'm sorry, man. It ain't funny. It ain't. It's something to be ashamed of. But I don't give. First of all, I'm like my man Big Ticket. Shout out to Big Ticket. He keeps saying over and over again, I'm cut from a different cloth. You have to stand on something in this world. I don't care if I go to jail. I don't care if I'm killed. This is what I stand on. This is what I stand on. I don't care. This is what I believe. This is what he's telling me to believe. But I ain't letting no man R me, period. And they still walking this earth. You can come and test me. But if you R me as a man and you gonna go in me, like Kirk Burroughs said, like other people said, Ray J done said it. Ray J said, Diddy been in me, I can't even hold my If you are me, because I'm against that 100 and 1,000%. So if you are me, you have to go. It might take me some time, but if you got close enough to me to R me, then I can get close enough to you to off you. That's just how I feel, man. I don't know how I'm going to figure it out. I don't know how I'm going to do it. I got one gun, y'all. I got one gun. I might need how they test the wind, make sure, because I'm going to be way away because I want to try to get away, right? They turn the little dials. I never knew what them fucking dials is for. What is the hell them dials for? To slow the wind down? When the bullet leave, just, they look at the little thing, then they... Man, forget all that. I don't know. I'm not a sniper. I don't know how to do no sniping stuff. But the real talk, if you dude, I don't need to be no sniper. I want to have my day in court. I know I'm gonna get caught because I'm gonna F you up. And I would tell Yana, he R me. Ain't nothing else to say. Here we go, man. I'm drunk, man.
Narratively, because he knew Puff for so long. Like you said, he's in a position to know this. He's co-founding Bad Boy Records. He's seeing the ins and outs.
Happy New Year.
Getting pushed to the side, like witnessing all this behavior. And then at the end, he reveals, his own allegation that he was sexually assaulted by Diddy. Talk a little bit about that, and because we've talked a lot about like the violent allegations here, but they're obviously throughout the documentary, and we know now on the public record the horrific abuse that he subjected any number of people to.
I mean, I did not know that Kirk was going to say that. I was, obviously moved by that. You feel horrible, and I completely believe him. I believe almost, let me just say, I
feel like that would be a hard thing to, I feel like that would be a very hard.
Dude, come on, dog. You believe, I honestly believe him. I believe him too. The whole world believed him the way he said it. That was devastating the way he said. A grown man have to sit there and say, dude, I would never. Because I got business to handle. I never would get online and tell the world that a man raped me, right? Grapes. I couldn't do that. I wouldn't do that. That's not how I roll. I'm cut from a different cloth, like Big Ticket say. Here's what I would do. From that point on, I'm trying to figure out a way to one-up you, even if it involves taking your life. Yeah. I'm from the streets, man. I'm sorry. My bad. I'm from the streets. I hated being from the streets, but now I know why I was in the streets that little bit of time I was in there. Because there's a lot of people that actors. They act like they was from the streets, and Diddy was one of them. Suge Knight, you can clearly tell he was from the streets, period. Birdman, you can clearly tell he was from the streets, period. And I can go on and on and on with all the people that's really from the streets, but I know one thing. There's a lot of people on YouTube that ain't from the streets, and we sit here and laugh. Man, what? Nigga, what? Whatever. I have met people in person. Side note, y'all. I met people in person that claim they from the streets, and when they see me, because they said negative things about Uncle Mike. Oh, man, and they think I seen it. I ain't seen it, dog. I'm trying to run my channel. I don't give a shit about your channel. Excuse me, y'all. I'm a little tipsy. But here's the thing. I think that people that they love the streets so much, they want to act. It's so easy to tell lies about the streets. I was deep in the streets, and I hated it. That's the truth. People that act like they in the street, yeah, man, you know what I'm saying? I had all these people, blah, 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 blah. Nope. I was learning the streets and doing everything I had to do in the streets to prove that I'm a real street thug or gangster or whatever you want to call yourself. Showing all the money in the videos and shit. Look, y'all. Showing all the money in the videos. All this money. I can't even make this. I can't even do it. Look, this ain't. You know what I'm saying? The problem is, it's an act. And the people that was teaching me about the streets have said, in order for you to get real respect, you got to kill somebody. You got to off somebody. Huh? Wait a minute. I believe in him. Thou shalt not kill. That's in the Bible, ain't it? Ain't that in the Bible? That's what he said. He said we should kill. Cause we down here with bullshit. We down here with all this bullshit. We down here with all that, and God put that bull in here to let you know: are you gonna obey me, or you gonna go with this bullshit? You're going to go with that. So I throw in the towel. I can't kill nobody, man. I can't off nobody. I can't do whatever. I can't do that. I can't do it. I don't know. This man might have said A, B, C, D to me, but the rest of the alphabets, he got kids. God is not telling me to. What God is telling me to do is, you disrespect me or my family, then I have to do what I got to do. And I said all that and forgot what my point was.
Horrible. And I completely believe him. I believe.
My point is, if you believe him, then, I think that people do interviews, they're going to pick and choose. I'm going to tell this lie, but I'm going to tell this truth. I'm going to tell this lie, but I'm going to tell this truth. But I know one thing. Kirk Burroughs was truthful when he said Diddy raped him. Or maybe he didn't grape him, but they had intercourse together. They slept together, period. That's all I got to say. I don't care if they slept together with their underwear on. Think about it. That's the gray area. We don't know what happened for real. Maybe Kirk Burroughs is the one that did it to Diddy. I can see Diddy now. Man, you gonna give me that D. You gonna give me that D. I want your D. Come on. Get it. Get it. Get that D. I want your D. But man, I'm not even excited over you. Kirk, we don't know what went down in that bedroom. But only thing we know, Kirk Burroughs was truthful when he said Diddy R'd him. But we think that Diddy R'd him because Diddy probably put his little Tootsie Roll, Tootsie Roll, Tootsie. We think Diddy put the Tootsie Roll into him. Diddy probably had a gun to his head and said, look here, boy, you going to take your Tootsie Roll and put it in me. We don't know. You feel me? We don't know. We don't know. The only thing we do know is what Kirk Burroughs said about Diddy R'ing him was true. Now, we don't know what went down, if they had on slippers, if they was in a waterbed. We don't know what went down. And this dude going to sit here and say that he think that Kirk was lying because he said Diddy had to pay for Biggie's funeral. But you believe everything else. Man, get out of here, dog. You lost me right there, period.
I say that. I was, obviously moved by that. You feel horrible. And I completely believe him. I believe almost, let me just say, I
feel like that would be a hard thing to, I feel like that would be a very hard thing to come forward with as well. That's not an easy thing to put out in the public.
I believe Kirk.
That's true.
I believe that Puff had essayed or any number of men. I spoke for a long time to Little Rod about what happened to him. He told me the same story and in more detail than he goes into in the doc. Yeah, I believe it. Puff was definitely known to roofie or drug people. So I shouldn't say roofie because he was using something that was much more potent, and multiple people who do not know each other talked about being given a drug and feeling being unwittingly drugged, right? Generally through a drink that Puff was constantly, let's take a drink. And then suddenly you are feeling way out of it. And people are like, large chunks of memory gone, like loss of control of my body. I have men and women both who have said this to me. So I believe it that he, to establish dominance, to be depraved, that he was incapacitating people, he's drugging people and then taking advantage of them. I completely believe that happened many, many times. It's shocking that did not come up in this documentary much more because Lil Rod and Kirk, and I believe somebody else, talk about being SA, but they don't talk about him drugging people. And he was,
Aubrey with Danny Kane.
Aubrey O'Day mentioned that. From what we know, Puff and his drugging we probably could have shown Bill Cosby some things. Like, we're on that level with it, So, Jesus. I believe Kirk on that for sure.
I wanted to talk about in your analysis on your Rap Latte channel, you said that you thought there was a really big missed opportunity in this documentary to dig into the death of Kim Porter. Yeah.
A lot of us find Kim Porter, his wife, mother of 3 of his children, her death, I believe at 47 from pneumonia, to be very strange. You died of pneumonia as a 40-something? Possible? Sure, it's possible, but it does not sound likely. And there's definitely a lot of people who are like, what's going on there? And I think it seems that the tone of the doc, the undercurrent of the doc was, let's make Puff look horrible. What can we say that would make him look horrible? We're going to talk about CCNY. We're going to talk about, him maybe of killing Pac. We're going to talk about maybe killing Big. Why not talk about him maybe killing Kim? Because that's something that a lot of people believe.
And what would be the motive there? What was going on at that time?
I'm not entirely steeped on that, but there's entirely any number of things that she could have been. It could have been that she wanted to out him on certain things that she was upset about. It could have been that that she, because she had left him. I mean, the why I can't nail down, but the smoke.
Well, I mean, the power piece, just that she left. This is someone who's clearly obsessed with power and dominance. I mean, that alone.
Could be. I mean, it's just that if you wanted to destroy his image, I think you would want to go down that. Now, look, 50 is a super troll. That has been his vibe in hip hop from the beginning. I remember a while ago, he had this whole Twitter rant about his dog Oprah. And so then he was talking about that bitch Oprah. I'm going to make that bitch do this. I'm going to make that bitch do that. And then people be like, are you talking about Oprah Winfrey? No, I'm talking about my dog Oprah. But of course he was talking about Oprah Winfrey, right? With the plausible deniability. This is the trolling 50. His whole career starts with him attacking Ja Rule and troll.
Yeah. Hey. The Bama. Hey, 50.
Got him.
50.
Oh.
50.
Whoa.
50 Cent.
Whoa.
Hey, let me tell y'all something, man. Dude, boy, if I had some money, I would buy about 20 dogs. I would name one of them Oprah, Ellen DeGeneres, Diddy. I would have all my dogs. Diddy, you in jail. You stay in every time we filming, we talking about Diddy, Suge Knight. All of them would be in jail. We would have a Ray J dog. There's all the dogs. That's what oh my God, yo, God dang. 50 Cent got a dog named Oprah. He named the dog Oprah because she a dog. God dang. Did he turn around? Wait a minute, I forgot what I was going to say. Wait a minute.
About Oprah Winfrey, right? With the plausible deniability. This is the trolling 50. His whole career starts.
He named the dog Oprah. Oprah. I'm going to call him. Oprah, you're getting on my nerve. Stop it, Oprah. What are you talking about? Oprah Winfrey? No, I'm talking about my dog. Wait a minute. You named the dog Oprah? Yeah. Oh, my God. I'll call you back. I'll call y'all back. Come on. Let's continue. I'm too... Man, what?
With him attacking Ja Rule and trolling Ja Rule, and then he's attacking other people in the game.
Hold on. Fuck that. I gotta rewind. Excuse me.
About his dog Oprah.
Oh my! About his dog named what? Woosa. Shit. I mean, what's your dog name? I need to buy me some dogs. I'm doing this wrong, y'all. I need to buy the dog. That's what the problem is.
Wanted to destroy his image. I think you would want to go down that. Now, look, 50 is a super troll. That has been his vibe in hip hop from the beginning.
Amen.
I remember a while ago, he had this whole Twitter rant about his dog Oprah. And so then he was talking about that bitch Oprah. I'm going to make that bitch do this. I'm going to make that bitch do that. And then people be like, you talking about Oprah Winfrey? No, I'm talking about my dog, Oprah.
No, I mean, yeah, I'm talking about Oprah, but no, I have a real bitch named Oprah. I never looked at it like that. Woosah, woosah, woosah. All right, no more, no more. I'm sorry. Wait. My bad, y'all. Wait, I'm just happy to be home. I'm happy that I had a safe flight. That bitch get on my nerves. That bitch get on my nerves. Is you talking about Oprah? No, I'm talking about my dog. I named the dog Oprah. Oh my God.
Talking about that bitch Oprah. That bitch Oprah. I'm going to make that bitch do this. I'm going to make that bitch do that. And then people be like, are you talking about Oprah Winfrey? No, I'm talking about my dog, Oprah. But of course he was talking about Oprah Winfrey, right? With the plausible deniability. This is the trolling 50. His whole career starts with him attacking Ja Rule and trolling Ja Rule. And then he's attacking other people in the game. He attacked Jay-Z. I mean, his first single was called How to Rob, where he explains how he would rob all the major stars in the industry in concurrent with their image or their hot song, which is actually, it's kind of a funny record, but a lot of people, the industry did not find him funny at all. But he's a troll. So this fits with who he has been, that Puffy is down. We're going to get him while he's down.
Interesting. And so in terms of, I should say, by the way, for the lawyers, Diddy denies all of this. These are all allegations, et cetera, et cetera. But, you know, in terms of like a compelling piece of content, how did you think that they did putting this together? I
mean, I was riveted through the whole thing. I was definitely like, okay, I believe that. Okay, I don't believe that. That doesn't add up for me. That's compelling. That I didn't. There's not much that I didn't know because we've been part of this story for 30 some years. I mean, I was covering Pac's trial that happened that was happening around the Quad shooting. So the day after, I saw him wheelchaired into the trial. So I mean, like, this has been part of our professional life and our conversations for a long time. So, I mean, this isn't new to me, but I mean, like, it's a good piece.
Dude, come on. You can't look at it as a producer, as a, I don't know the word sometimes, man. You can't look at it from your point of view. You got to look at it. It's on Netflix, cousin, and it's for the consumers. You got to look at it from a consumer point of view. It was a very, very, very good documentary. Why? It covers all the stuff that we know. That lady that worked with 50 Cent, kudos to her. She did an excellent job. You know why? Because all the rumors and stuff was in the documentary. Each, sections, you had 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 episodes. Episodes is the word. The 4 episodes, each episode revealed information that we never even heard that was on YouTube or whatever, the gossip in the streets. It was new. They made sure that each episode had new gossip. I did not know that Diddy made the Biggie estate, even if it's a lie or not. That's not the point. If it's a lie or not, I did not know that it was a lie out talking about Puffy made Diddy. I mean, Diddy made Puffy. Wait a minute. Puffy, which is Diddy, made Biggie pay for his own funeral, man. If it's a lie or not, I didn't even know that rumor was out there. Let's just talk about, we're going to call everything rumors. So you mean to tell me I didn't know in the beginning. This what made me look at the whole documentary. I didn't even want to look at the shit.
Bullshit, 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 bullshit.
I didn't even want to.
Bullshit.
I didn't even want to look at this bull. But what made me look at it was when that lady came on in and said that her mama wrote a letter to Diddy's parents. She said parents. I wish she would have said I wrote a letter to Diddy's mama, because the rumor has it that Diddy dad died when he was like 3 years old. I don't think Diddy was hiring anybody at the age of 3, 4, 5, or 6, 7. Let's say they lied and said, well, Diddy's dad died when he was 7. You know what I'm saying? So why would the mother write a letter to the parents? The mother should have wrote a letter to the mother. That's just me. I don't know why that little thing is just bothering me right there. But let's go over that lie. Truth or rumor. I never knew that this girl been alright back then when they was doing the New Jack Swing type dances and all that stuff. That's when I was rocking. And this girl was being alright and shown on videotape. She was shown at parties. We go to a party and you like, yeah, this party jumping, y'all. They got videos, they got little rooms you can go in and show porn. And you go up there and you see her, somebody we know, or somebody that's in the New York area, being honored by Diddy. Everybody know who throwing the party. Come on, man. Are y'all getting this? This is what the lady said in the documentary. Oh, dog, I done pulled up I forget the popcorn. Right then and there, I spit the popcorn. I had to spit the popcorn out. I spit it out. I need to study this thing, man. This thing is crazy. And then at the end, they had a nerve to say that Puffy made Diddy pay. Puffy made, let me get it right, Puffy made Biggie, the Biggie estate, because they businessmen. We don't know nothing about this stuff. Puffy is long gone, passed away. And now we all think he had something to do with that. Now Puffy has passed away. Puffy, listen to me, y'all. Diddy has passed away. Stay with me, y'all. Diddy passed away. God dang it. Biggie Smalls, my favorite rapper of all times, is Biggie Smalls. He used to, I liked him because he was ugly, fat. He wasn't sexy, attractive, but he had straight talent. That man had talent, man. Tupac, oh, he cute, whatever. Tupac probably had a look that women probably liked. He had a little flow, whatever. To me, I thought he was kind of on the fake side because he was a dancer. Then all of a sudden he a gangster. Gangsters are not dancers. Gangsters are too busy being gangsters to dance. Anyway, long story short, Diddy is doing so many bad things in this documentary that we didn't know about. For example, out of his mouth, he said he had to take a bath, shower, hand sanitizer because he been amongst the people. Now you think about that. You think about that while he's serving 50 months. Come on, man. People got to come forward and keep this negative, evil, devil person in jail. Even if he get out. I knew he wasn't going to get pardoned. Get out of here,
So, I mean,
man.
this has been part of our professional life and our conversations for a long time. So, I mean, this isn't new to me, but I mean, it's a good piece of work, I guess, as far as documentaries go. Finding people like Kirk gives it a lot of credibility, I think, because he's so important to the history of Bad Boy, and he knows Puff from so far back. I just know that there's messiness in it, there's recklessness in it, there's moments that are just not true.
Interesting. Very interesting. Well, I mean, it definitely is very compelling to watch. I think you're right. Kirk comes across as very credible, as the kind of central storyteller here. And, no surprise to people that Diddy is an absolute horrible monster, just given what we've seen on camera from him with Cassie, if nothing else.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, like, just absurd, horrible.
All right, Toure, thank you very much. Tell people where they can follow you, find you, all that good stuff.
Follow me on Rap Latte. Come to my YouTube channel, Toure Tube, and watch my new show that you reference. Why did they break up? Where we talk to people about a romantic breakup that they went through. It's kind of this wild breakup stories.
Yeah. Also, I mean, you are like absolute TikTok superstar.
Thank you.
Incredible.
It's fun. I love the TikTok.
See, I have been trying to like make myself do it, and I'll like go for a little while and then I sort of fall off because it requires a lot of focus. And you've really nailed it. You've kind of really gotten into the format, the medium.
Well, I want to be more on YouTube like you. You're like the YouTube star. I'm like, I need to go over there more time. I mean, like, you do an in-depth TikTok. It can take a couple hours out of your day. I'm like, maybe this time we better spend over there on YouTube. So I'm trying to live up to you, what you're doing.
All right. Well, we'll exchange tips. In any case, Toure, thank you. Appreciate you. Always great to see you.
For sure.
Hey, if you like that video, hit the like button or leave a comment below. It really helps get the show to more people.
And I'm out of here. That's crazy, man. That was incredible right there. So, hey, shout out to all my enders. Shout out to my enders. I read one comment that said, damn, this hour is 16 minutes. We want to hear more from you. We want to hear your point of view. I've always been a shy type person, and now that it's like I don't give a F no more because I'm about to turn 60, man. So that grade, I mean, I'm healthy, and I don't think I'm going nowhere anytime soon, but it's time. It's time for you to start living your life. If you feel as though it's time for you to start living life, it's funny how if you live your life chasing all the time, Diddy been living his life chasing. I don't know what he's chasing, because I thought once you get $10, $20 million in the bank, you don't have to chase no more. You don't have to chase no more. But I was wrong, because he was almost a billionaire. They're billionaires. Oprah had $2 billion and she's still chasing. Huh? No, you can't be a chaser and you got $2 billion. What are you chasing? You can buy whatever it is you chasing. You can buy it and tell it to stay still. I ain't got to chase it no more. I was wrong, y'all. But at the same time, you have to balance. You have to balance life. This is what the problem is. People don't understand. Even where you at right now, you know good and well in 2 or 3 months, you got to pay this bill. I got to pay this. I wish I could do this. Man, you know what? I still owe that guy that money, man. God dang it. I ain't got it. But you got to start balancing things. Because Christmas come and New Year's come, you got to go out and party. You got to do the party. Christmas come, you got to buy all them gifts that you know you can't afford because you owe that guy that money. I got people that's supposed to pay me money when I was out of the country, and they didn't do it. Why? Because Christmas. Oh, here I understand. Mike is cool. Here I understand. I ain't got you owe me $200, bruh. In fact, you owe me $200 twice this month and you ain't paid zero. How I supposed to pay my bills if you don't live up to what you said? You said you was going to do. Think about it. Take your time. You can ask anybody to work for me. Period. Payday comes, I pay you. I mean, I have the money. but I make sure you got the money. I would tell you at least 60 to 90 days ahead of time that, yo, cuz, I don't know, man. You're gonna have to take a cut and pay if this don't change. Because I believe in letting people know. I don't believe in hurting people. I believe in helping people. And Diddy was a person that was clear beyond a reasonable doubt. The court system, this sorry old court system that we have, may not be able to catch him for only 50 months. Now, I want to spit on you so bad. I hate the United States court system. The only thing I know is there's proof out of his mouth, there's proof on video, and there's proof that he done kicked that little girl down there. She's pretty as I don't know what, man. He done kicked that little girl down the hallway of a hotel room, and he tried to bribe. He tried to bribe the security guard. He done took the stand. Man, F all that. Put him in jail and lock and throw away the key until he come out and start telling us what he did and did not do. Go on back in there because you still lying. You full of
bullshit.
Go on back in there and see you next year. Y'all don't want to straighten this system up. They don't want to straighten it. They want to act like they straightening it. Put him back. 50 months, I will keep, that'll be the carrot. What can I use as a carrot, y'all? This will be the carrot. 50 months, Diddy. He'll be seeing this for 20 years. And I'll sit there and have some little kid say, you don't get it. You don't get it, Diddy. In 50 months, you'll be getting out. Now 75 months. But in 50 months, you'll be getting out. Now it's 2 years. In 50 months, you'll be getting out. We're going to keep dangling this carrot in front of your face until you tell us what it is you did and what you didn't do. That's what need to happen, man. And then use him for example. For everybody who does stuff like this, for everybody who hurt other people, this is what will happen to you. If we got way too much proof that you did wrong in this world, that will clean up. What is it? Capital punishment? We need to teach the world what happens when you do stuff like this. What we teach in the world right now, what we teach the world is, you can get away with this stuff if you do A, B, C, and D. We need to teach the world that you cannot get away with this stuff. I'm Uncle Mike, man. Happy New Year's resolution. Y'all take it light, take it slow. Y'all tell him Uncle Mike. Told you so. Shout out to all my enders. Peace out.